Hey friends, it's Worm here today to talk about fusion rifles and particularly the rapid fire frame. So let me get this going. I wanted to talk about these today because I played 2 games during the course of my play session, and I just happened to be recording during these games. And, you know, I had this first one here on Endless Vale that you're watching in the background, and it was a really rough game, and I've edited out a lot of it. I basically just cut out all the parts where I was running around not doing anything. So in the video you're watching in the background, it's going to show me when I get kills or when I die. Okay, so not every clip is me getting a kill, or there's some of just me dying in there. But we played this game and we were using Zealot's Reward because I wanted to see, hey, how does it feel? What is it all about? Blah, blah, blah. And, we'd been playing with it a little bit earlier today, having some good games, having some bad games, blah, blah, blah. But these 2 to me stuck out so very much. And it made me decide to make this video on whether or not rapid fire frame fusion rifles are OP, if they're absolutely busted, or if they're still incredibly underpowered. And the 2 games, one of, like I said, Endless Vale, the one you're watching here, and the next one is on Widow's Courts. They were literally, I think, the polar opposites of one another. So just to give you some background here, this game I did very, very poorly on. Okay, I was using it. I decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to try to do a fusion rifle only play style. Like I'm literally, all I use my fusion rifle. I think there's 1 kill where I get a super kill, and there's 1 kill where I get a kill with a grenade, but every other kill is with the fusion rifle. I don't use my primary. I don't use heavy at all. And I walk out of this game honestly utterly defeated. I had, I think, it was like a 0.84 KD or something like that. Like, you'll see it coming up in a little bit. A 0.84 KD, and it made me feel like, okay, like these things, they can't be that strong. They're not that good, right? Like I'm getting absolutely destroyed by them. Like whenever I'm running, in here and getting some of these shots, like, yeah, it kills. I mean, just like a shotgun, basically. Like, it charges super fast. It has, a decent range to get kills. Like, and it is sticky. But there's so many like opportunities in this game that I had to get a kill, and I didn't. I failed, and I had this feeling that these weapons are not that great. Like, I was kind of disappointed in the way that I was performing. Blah blah blah. But I know that we have bad games, we have good games. So I stayed. I stayed with the game, and on the very next game on Widow's Courts, we had an absolute banger of a game. Okay, we had an absolute banger of a game, and in the next one, we didn't do a full commitment to the fusion rifle kills and the fusion rifle build, so to speak. We had it a little bit different. On screen real quick, you can see the in-game results of the Widow's Court game, but we had a rough game, essentially, that first game on Endless Vale. We went into this game and we decided, hey, you know what? We're not going to sit here and we're not just going to play with our fusion rifle. We're just going to play like almost regular Destiny 2. Like, we're going to use our primary. We're going to use heavy if we pick it up. We're going to use our fusion rifle, our supers, grenades, everything in our kits, and we're going to see how it works. And the fusion rifle absolutely put in work. Okay, and a lot of my kills, I think most of my kills, I could be mistaken, but most of my kills, I feel like, came from the fusion rifle. And it made me think, like, why did we have this game, this game right now where I absolutely popped off, and then we had this previous game where I absolutely got, dog water. My kills were terrible. Like, I felt like I did very, very poorly, blah, blah, blah. And it made me want to make this video on whether or not they're OP or busted, because I think they're actually neither. I don't think they're OP. I don't think they're busted. I think they're in a perfect state. And I know that's something I don't really say a lot about weapons and stuff in Destiny 2, because, to be honest, Bungie, they when something's OP, they nerf it to the point where it's trash, or if something's weak, they buff it to the point where it is busted. They never get the buffs or the nerfs just right. So it's still good, but not too good, or it's good now, but it's not OP. But this is one instance where I think Bungie did a phenomenal job with the buff that they delivered to these things. And they literally increased the damage by, I think, like 1 point is what you see in game. I know it's technically under the hood, it's like, you know, a little bit more than 1 point. It's like 1.7 like damage per bolt or something along those lines. But Bungie actually got it right here. And so I want to give props to Bungie, first of all. Like, this is fantastic. And if you're not full committing to a fusion rifle build, if you're playing, you know, and sprinkling in fusion rifle kills when needed, they feel really good, but they don't feel broken. Like, I can run around with a fusion rifle, I can do good with it, of course, but if I play like I did in the last game on Endless Veil in a way that is silly, I'm not going to do well. I'm not going to do well at all. 0.84 KD proves it. But you come to this game where you play like an actual human being, you know, and you play like you're actively trying to just have like a good KD or something like that, you know, you're going to do well with them. You know, and yes, like I am using Antaeus wards. Obviously, like, you know, the point of getting this footage was to show off, you know, fusion rifle gameplay. Sorry, my mind drew a blank there. Was to show off fusion rifle gameplay. But it just doesn't feel like they are busted by any means. And so I think that, you know, where they are right now is a perfect spot, you know, if you know how to use them. And I think that they definitely do take some mastery to use, because after this, of course, in this gameplay, you're watching me, you know, build solely around the fusion rifle. Like, I'm using Antaeus wards, you know, I've got on some fusion rifle, like mods and stuff to buff, you know, fusion rifle, stuff like that. But after this, a couple games after this, I switched over to my Warlock. Now, Warlock, of course, doesn't have Antaeus wards, and I was just using my goofy support build. I was using Lumina, Solar Warlock with all the, you know, support stuff you could imagine in there. And I had on a Cartesian coordinate with Slideways and Under Pressure. So, or not Under Pressure, I'm sorry, High Impact Reserve. So, not the godliest god roll, but it's not a bad roll. It's serviceable. I've kept it for, you know, a long time in my vault, just, you know, hoping I could use it one day. And it was the same thing. Like, when I used the fusion rifle, when it needed to be used, it did what it was supposed to do. If there were games where I was like, oh, I'm gonna overcommit, I'm gonna try to go for a fusion kill, blah blah blah, I died. Why? Because I would overcommit. But if you use it in the way that it's intended, it works perfect. It works perfect. And like, that's why, like, I'm so impressed with this fusion rifle buff. Now, of course, I know that, you know, depending on your inputs, obviously I play on controller and I play on PC, and I'm not playing at the top, like the highest bracket of PvP. I'm not playing at the lowest bracket of PvP either. But I know that there's some variables, and I know that some of you are going to have different thoughts. You're going to think that, hey, you know, fusion rifles are now busted. Like, I was playing in a lobby with somebody with this exact same Zealot's reward roll or iterative loop with Kickstart or something like that, and it felt broken. Like, I understand that's going to happen, but pick up the fusion rifle yourself. Use it. Like, you will feel that, like, it feels better than it used to, but it doesn't feel overpowered. And these two games that I had, like, they really, to me, they show that it is Bungie doing a perfect, and I almost don't want to use that word, but a perfect job tuning weapons. This is the epitome of a perfect weapon tuning, where nothing is too, you know, underpowered, nothing is too overpowered. Like, it is sitting right where it needs to sit. And I love it. I'm not going to main fusion rifles this season by any means, but whenever a fusion rifle is needed, you know, like in my Warlock build, I got Lumina on as my primary, I've got a fusion rifle as my secondary, or if I'm just looking to have some fun, like on my Titan here, like, it's nice that they're going to be viable, but they're not going to be broken. Like, I'm not going to take a fusion rifle into a game, you know, and absolutely crush the opposition. You know, that's not what Destiny should be about. Okay. And that's what we had, you know, when the Immortal was king. Like, you could go in there and you could crush with it. And I haven't seen a whole lot of, you know, Immortal gameplay and stuff like that, but, you know, that's what Destiny's all about, is the ability to get in there, do well with your loadout, not absolutely smash people with it. You know, obviously there are fantastic players out there that can smash players, you know, with their builds, but like, this is just a perfect balance that we love to see. It's very rare that we get something this perfect, but we got it this time. So thank you, Bungie. Editorial worm here. My computer had a little goof there at the end of the video, so we're going to redo our outro. But hey, if you like the video, drop a like. It helps out tremendously. Of course, subscribe for more daily Destiny content. And hey, check out this video on screen because YouTube thinks that you will like it. Guys, that's it for me, and I'll talk to y'all in the next one. Bye for now.